All right, we are live on Facebook. I'm super excited to see everybody, to chat with everybody. I'm going to also start this clubhouse room, so we're going to see how this goes. So welcome everyone. Jess, I think maybe I need to invite you there. I don't know. We'll see. This is going to be fun.
Clubhouse?
Yeah, nothing like multitasking.
I think we're both there. I think you just start the room.
Okay, I started the room, so come on. All right, so this is going to be super fun. We are going to hang out today for 30 minutes. If we go a little longer, yeah, I don't know. I time blocked 30 minutes and I follow my calendar. So we'll see how that all works out. Thank you guys that are hanging out here with us in Zoom land and those that are watching in Your Journey with Jennie. Super appreciate you. I'm Jennie Wolek here in Tulsa. This is my friend Jess Starr in Connecticut, and she's going to chat with me because we always learn and grow better when we hear and collaborate with our friends, and that's what we're going to do here today. So I'm just going to start. I'm going to change my view here to speaker view so I can see Jess. So Jess, what is it about time blocking that you think real estate agents struggle with the most?
Well, number one, so let me ask you first, since you have Clubhouse going at the same time, you have it live and the speaker on so it can hear both of us? So I don't have to have mine on the same time?
Correct.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody has Clubhouse. If you guys want to let me know if you can hear us or see us there. This is my first time to do, I figure let's just put this in.
We'll try to multitask it. Yeah. I don't have friends yet on there, actually. Now I got to go look.
Gary says that we do that, right? We multitask. Oh, wait, we don't do that. So if we have to shut this off, that's fine. All right, go, Jess.
So what the question was, why I want to focus on my time blocking, why it's so important to me?
Well, just, why do agents struggle with this?
Oh gosh, I think because we're juggling so many different hats and so many different jobs at once, and then we're parents at the same time, and every task seems like it's an emergency. So we just jump to that next task, leaving the other tasks to the side. And I know my biggest reason for switching from Berkshire Hathaway to Keller Williams was actually due to time blocking. Somebody took the time to show me how to time block, and that saved my life. It got relationships back, and it was enormous because I wasn't present when I was with my family. I wasn't present at parties. I wasn't present at events. I was always on my phone. And how fair is that to everybody else? And everything was an emergency, and yet none of them were at the same time. And then my health was going down the tubes and, all that kind of stuff. So that's why it was important. I think that's what everybody struggles with.
Right. I mean, there's so many things that go on inside of a real estate transaction and our personal lives at the same time. And I think that's what most real estate agents feel is some things are more on fire than others. And that's what you said. And I want you to point that out again, because you really noticed that you had to have a kind of a, real life, thing happen where you were faced with the reality of what it's like to time block.
Yeah, we stopped getting invited to some of our friends' parties because we would go for half the party, then go to another party because we had that to go on. Then I had to go show houses in between, and then we had a baseball game, and we have 4 kids. And so life is crazy just all the time. And they don't understand the sales job, first of all, never mind a solo income house and 4 kids. So I had to kind of get some perspective around that myself. And I wasn't willing to cave on some of those things. And I realized my life was feeling like it was spiraling. And I was a single agent at the time doing about 6 million in sales in 2010. And about 40 something houses myself, no assistant. And it just was a little overwhelming.
Well, so I have some just questions that we can kind of ask ourselves, and we can definitely get some input from the audience because I think that so many agents, again, struggle with that counterbalancing of, what's most important. So first we got to just know what matters most, right? I mean, how do you determine, Jess, you're going to build out your calendar each day, each week, each month, each year in advance? You just don't wake up. I promise that you don't wake up on a Monday, January 1st, and just wing it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not now. So I am a big nerd and I still do like some paper stuff, so you can make fun of me all you want. But I do have this like whole year-long calendar that, yeah, it's good. Panda. They made one. It was on Amazon, just so you know. Make sure you get the one that's 12. I had to buy two because my assistant accidentally got the 6-month one. But buy it so that you can write in all your vacations first. Build in that think time. And even if you don't have a vacation yet, put it in there like you do so you can fill something in there. So take that calendar, look at the whole year at a bird's eye view and say, okay, I realized that my health and my weight started going up. And I realized that I was getting sick about every 8 to 10 weeks because I was working crazy hours. I was not giving myself that downtime. And I didn't want the health issues that I could see coming. And so I started scheduling like 4-day weekends off so that I could like just power my brain down, even if it was with a girlfriend or just away from my family, because moms don't really have downtime. It was something that made my brain feel like it was off. So, and I noticed that at the moment I started doing that, I started not getting sick. And when I would get sick, I wouldn't just get sick for like a couple days. It would be like a week to 2 weeks. Like I'd fall like an ox. So it was
Wow.
bad.
Wow, that is crazy. I mean, I always am teaching and sharing that we got to start with us first. We got to work on the inner game before we can work on our outer game. And so for me, what I've learned over the years, learning from Gary Keller with Keller Williams is just that, I mean, we've got to, like you said, time block our family time. This also includes our health time, taking care of our mind and our body. And so it's time blocking your morning routine to set yourself up for success, that you already, start the day with your thinking time and your planning and your exercise. I know this sounds so silly, and you guys, it's really on my calendar. It dings me and tells me to exercise at 5:30 a.m. So it might have to be that silly.
Gratitude, affirmations and planning. Then you do your reading. It's the savers.
Yeah, it is the savers. So what you're referencing, why don't you share what the savers come from, Jess? Because I think that's a great tool for people.
It's a book called The Miracle Morning, and there's one called The Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents by Hal Elrod. And it's a great book because it talks about you need to have like your spiritual time. You need to have your meditation and visualization, your gratitude, your workout, your exercise, right? The saver stands for all of those things. And you're thinking plan time, and you wake up an hour to 2 hours early to do it, which seems like, oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming. But what happens is you get your mindset in the right spot that you feel like you can take on the world once you've done all of those things. And you do your journaling as well. So it's really amazing. And I know when I'm in flow and I am doing that like nobody's business, I feel like a plane that's gliding not a plane, a boat that's gliding when you get up on plane. I don't know if anybody is a boater here, but when you finally get up and you take off and you're just out, that's how it feels when you do the savers in the morning. You get in the routine and you get in the habit. Then you're getting your kids out the door and you're like, oh my God, I did all of this already? Like you feel like you could just slay your day.
Well, you've already won the day because you made a commitment to yourself and then you stuck with it. So Jess, now you've gone from getting your mind and your body right, your family, your hug and love on your family time as well. So then you get to work or you get to your home office, whatever that looks like for you right now. I mean, how can you stay focused on now the work mode? How do you switch that and stay focused and eliminate distractions?
So my biggest challenge during COVID, and you know this, was I have very little off buttons. So if I'm working from home, I might as well just kind of keep going. And I need to actually put like alarms on to like, go take the dog out, go do this, go do that, get up, because I will just sit. I'll forget to eat. Like my husband will bring me something to eat because he's a stay-at-home dad. I forget and I just keep going. So I need to literally set alarms for myself to drink water, to go do this, because otherwise it doesn't work. So I start off with scripts every single morning. And I've done it for 5-10 years. I don't know. It's been a long time. And then we do our team huddle and we get into prospecting and calling clients and just loving on our clients. It's not necessarily even, just the hard cold calls. It's just the care calls more than anything else. We've really done that always. So, and then you set your appointments in the afternoon and you just win the day. So we've got time blocked appointments every afternoon that are available. Doesn't mean they're always all full, but they're available to fill. So when you're setting an appointment, you say, hey, I've got Tuesday at 2 or 4. Which of those would be better for you? Great. No, you want an evening? Well, this is the only evening appointment I have available at this point.
So it sounds like to me, Jess, is that you already knew in advance when you were building out your calendar what your job description was and what that looked like. So why don't you share with everyone what goes on your calendar every day or every week that is never not there?
Well, listing appointments, because I still do a lion's share of listing appointments on my team. My team meeting is a non-negotiable. That's always there. So it starts with a team huddle Monday, Wednesday, through the entire week except for Tuesday. So at 8:45, we have our team huddle. Every day I have a script call at 7:30 once I drop my boys off in the morning. So I have that time in between there that I can get some other email stuff done or jump on the pivot shift call. I have my team huddle. And then right after that at 9 o'clock, we start prospecting. So that can mean any number of things, right? Facebook, it could be follow up. It could be, so however you prospect, we prospect. And then usually 1 to 3 are 2 of my listing appointment times. And only one day do I have 1, 3, and 5 p.m. available. And I don't work on the weekends.
So Jess, I know that you had to realize this years ago, like I did, is that you have to block family time. It's so important to block family time. I'm going to pause real quick because some people are watching on Clubhouse, and thank you guys. We're doing this multitasking thing. So we're talking about time blocking for success. I'm Jennie Wolek here in Tulsa and Jess Starr in Connecticut. And so I see that you may have some questions, and we'll get to those in just a little bit. And we're excited to keep talking about this. But Jess, why don't you share like how you got so here's my main point, is that whether it's your family that you're neglecting or it's other pieces of your business that you're neglecting, how do you say yes and no to things?
So I had to literally put in there self-love time. So like on Friday afternoons, I usually have a certain time that's business and think time. And then after that, I have self-love time. That could also include like coffee with a girlfriend or, something that's just going to bring me joy that's not work and it's not mom stuff. So there's that. And then, date night is in there every Sunday night. We have date night. So, and we are very religious about our date night. But the best lesson I ever learned from my parents was how to love each other. And if you don't keep things like that, then stuff like that goes away. So even during the pandemic, when we couldn't go out, we would have date night or date morning and we'd get breakfast and sit in the car, but sit by the river, just us. So but you have to protect that. If you don't, it's not going to happen.
But Jessica, what if you have family time planned and a deal just has to be negotiated or an inspection has to be dealt with? What do you do?
So this is the thing, when you first sit down with your clients, period, I have that conversation. It's not a script, it's a conversation. And I say, hey guys, just so you know, I can't wait to work with you. And I really practice on being the best person, the best human, and the best salesperson I possibly can be. That being said, I start work between 7:30 every morning. And by 4 o'clock, I need to be mom. I do have a couple of evening appointments, but between 4 and 8, I'm mom. So if we get an offer, if we've got to negotiate an inspection, you're not going to hear from me between those hours. But at 8 o'clock, once my kids go to bed, you will hear from me because that's the time I've set to call you. Now, if it's something that's not urgent and we have days to negotiate, you'll hear from me the following business day. Is that okay with you? And if they say no, I say, that's no problem. I'm probably not the agent for you. And I'd love to connect you with somebody that's probably more available. Usually they go, oh, no, it's fine. We don't want you to work all the time. But you just have to do the takeaway and be willing to go, no worries, go with somebody else. It's fine. And they're like,
and that's the other thing is you are coming across as a professional. I mean, honestly, I had to change my mindset. My husband happens to be an attorney. I promise you at 5:01, his brain is turned off of work. he's not taking any client calls. And so we just have to remind, now we may allow ourselves to take calls until 7 or whatever our time is. Now, Jess, you chose, I believe, an 8 o'clock callback time because you wanted that focus time with your family. You did it more in the middle where if you don't have small ones that you need to be watching, maybe you say, I'm going to work until 6 or 7, and then I'm going to be done. And so you get to pick what your calendar looks like and how you share it with your clients. And you do want to come across as a professional. However, would you admit, Jess, there are sometimes you have to bend on that? And you would.
Yep, there are definitely sometimes the people that say, oh, there's no time and I'm absolutely perfect and this is it, they're full of it. So, well, I mean, Jenny knows this, I call a spade a spade. So if you have to negotiate and you just have that unreasonable client, this is the best tip I can possibly give you. Have you guys all have that client that says, you're unreachable. I can't believe you. I can't get a hold of you. And you're like, okay, well, I talked to you like 20 times on Facebook today, 8,000 texts, 2 phone calls, and 5 emails. But I get that I'm unreachable right now.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm going to tell you for that anxiety-ridden client that just nothing will do. All they need to know is that there's something constant they can count on. Write that down. Mm-hmm. They need to know there's something constant they can count on. So I had somebody that was doing that to me, and I didn't know what they were going through. They were going through a divorce. They did not share that. She would call me 1 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, was ridiculous. Finally, I said, Kim, I'm going to call you. I will call you every single day, every day at noon, but you will not hear from me any other time but noon. But you have me every day at noon for 15 minutes. Is that all right with you? And she goes, oh, okay. I said, well, it make you feel better to know that you'll have me every day. Any question you have, save it for noon. I'll talk to you then. So then I actually saved myself a boatload of time because this lady was blowing me up any way she could on group text, anywhere, getting my team involved. And I was like, dear God.
Well, you just made the best point, is that when you time block your life and your business, you're actually going to have way more time. Isn't that true and crazy? It's like you actually fit in and you're more purposeful with that block of time, that it doesn't spread out through the whole day. Right. Yeah. So I want to get into some of your hacks or tricks that you have taught yourself. I have a few that I'll share, and then we can ask the audience if they have questions. We got some in the chat.
Oh, hacks well, I love that big calendar first. That's number one. Always putting in the savers, always putting in date night. Oh, here's the other thing. I date my kids. I don't know how many of you guys do this, but I have 4 and they're all vying for attention. So at least once a month, I might rotate it once or twice a month. I take 2 of them out, but just with mom. And it might just be to like a coffee or an ice cream, or it might be like, hey, we're going to go for a hike, just us. But it's just us, because they love that one-on-one time. One of my sons, like, he lives to run errands with me because I'm kind of crazy, and we carpool karaoke like crazy, and we'll just be stupid and have fun in the car. So he's like, I'm doing errands with mom. Like they like love to do it. So I make it a point to time block in dating my kids. So what I'm working on is getting better at having more time with friends, because our family is so full and we've got our tribe. You know, I realize, especially in the pandemic, I miss my people so desperately, and I need more time with some of my friends too. So building in a couple more like couples nights, or like even if it's a Zoom with some friends or whatever, because I need that. My husband would be fine being a hermit. I am not. So
yeah. Well, lots of us are struggling through these new weird crazy times, and I'm with you. That's actually on my 411, which is a tool that we use to time block, to manage what our weeks and our years are going to look like. I actually time block, or have on my 411 personal section things like date nights and friends and family and all of those things, so that I don't forget. So every week I can say, oh, have I done that yet? If not, put it on my calendar for next week.
Because it seems you're like, oh, like I forgot to go say hi to my friend, or I forgot to go, and you're like, you get to a point that you're so busy, like I don't know my elbow from my what. So
a hack that I want to share that really, really, really helped me. My coach Jordan Freed shared it with me. It's like, I don't know about you guys, but when I get an idea for a new project or a social media post or an event or something, I just want to go do it all right now. I want to brainstorm it right now. I want to create the GPS for it. I want to get busy on it. And that is distracting from what my focus should be at that time. And so he said, Jennie, just take that idea and time block an hour next week or an hour later this week or another time slot where you put it there, so that you know that you're going to be reminded about this brilliant idea that you had, but it allows you to stay focused on what you need to be staying focused on. And that was very helpful.
That's the other thing that I think is really important to remember. Like, so when you put in the business time, there's time to work on the business and time to work in the business, right? So Fridays is my working on the business time. So that's the stuff that, and I keep actually a Google Drive sheet that's called Brain Dump. And it's Brain Dump January 2020. And I put it in there. And so if my team's like, hey, I'm looking for something, I'm like, hey, go check out Brain Dump and good luck.
Create the system and bring it back.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'll tell you what we need to fix or add or whatever else. And they kind of love that though, too, because they were like, you know, that was a great idea. So we saw we needed to do X, Y, and Z, and we just did this and we thought this was better. I'm like, cool, great.
All right, well, let's go into the chat box here on our Zoom. So Marianne asks or says, we have to take care of ourselves. This is definitely counterintuitive, selfish for many of us. That is very, very true. It's hard, isn't it? Fortunately, I don't have to set an alarm to eat. Well, good for you, Erin. That's awesome.
I do.
And yes, guys, this will be recorded. It'll be in Your Journey with Jennie on Facebook Live, and then I'll have the recording as well. And Marianne says, no one else needs to know what appointments we're going on, right? Our family appointments are none of anybody's business. And I think so many newer agents say they feel bad about saying, I need to pick my kid up from school, things like that. And I switched my mindset early on to just say, you know what, I have an appointment at that time, period.
That's the biggest mistake that people make. And I know when training people on our team too, I had somebody that would go, hey, I can't make it because I've got ballet. And I'm like, no, ballet is fine. What's not fine is how you said it. So I was like, here's the bad part. Nobody cares about what you have to do. I'm so sorry. It's actually the truth. And that being said, I have an appointment works. And they don't know. And then they think, oh, wow, she's so busy. You know, I'm glad I want to work with a busy agent.
That's true. And you know what else I want to add is that words matter. I used to say things like, I have to pick up Mia from school. And I switched that to, I get to pick my kid up from school. Doesn't that just change everything about that, from the energy and to how you're going to show up for your kid?
You'll laugh about this. So as you do business and you pay your quarterly taxes, my team called and they said, hey, bad news, taxes are due. Here's what it is. I said, oh, we're so blessed we get to pay that tax bill. And they go, I was like, I am so lucky. I get to pay that tax bill and I have it. Yeah. They're like, you know what, Jess? Yes.
That means you had the benefit of helping so many families that you got to make money that you get to pay the IRS. Yes. All right. Stacy has a question. This is a good one. Have we always been like this from the beginning of our careers, or did we reach a certain production level?
I told you, I literally was a you know what show. And I'm a yes girl and I want to make everybody happy as much as I possibly can, to my own detriment. So I was miserable when I left Berkshire Hathaway, and I did not come to Keller Williams, not for the training and education and technology. I knew that would be awesome in a byproduct, but somebody told me how to care enough about myself to time block. Time blocking was the reason I came to Keller Williams. If any team leader is watching this, they are always going, look at the money you're going to make. Look at this, look at that. Think about what the person needs and talk to them on a deeper level. Get in deep and say, hey, how are you at home? Are you making stuff? Because when people finally open up and are willing to be vulnerable, you may find out it has nothing to do with money. It has to do with happiness and joy. And time blocking brought me joy.
You know, that's so crazy because just the value that we get from our company We happen to love our Keller Williams company, unrecruitable, as the pictures have been saying lately. And it's because we've learned these lessons. Of course, Keller Williams is teaching us how to be successful in business. And first, it's our personal lives, our spiritual lives, our family lives that matter most. And that we have to start there first. So I love that. So Alan is asking or saying, what are the questions what are the questions Alan, we would be well served to ask ourselves when we are not sticking to the time plan. So maybe he's saying, what are the questions that we need to ask ourselves when we're not sticking to our time block? So we're noticing that we are off schedule.
Am I finding joy in my day? What did I do today to win the day? Where were my wins in today? And I know sometimes we have bad days, right? You need to win the day. Sometimes it comes down to winning the hour. Win the hour, win the morning, win the day.
And for me, it could even just be, I wake up in the morning and I think about what my day is going to look like. And I say, what's the one thing that I must accomplish today to move my business forward? To me, today with COVID, I said, I get to hang out for 30 minutes with Jess and all my friends on Zoom. And if I achieve that, then I'm winning the day. So pick whatever your wins are, right? Whatever.
A good nap wins the day sometimes, friends.
And that's next. And that's
yes.
Next.
Jenny, we have some people on Facebook Live. I'm going to add in here. With time blocking, buyers want to see houses that aren't staying on the market long. So what can you do with that? Do you want to answer that one?
You say what you got and I'll go.
Oh, so I would just say, if you cannot make it, have a backup plan. Have somebody in your office to stick to the time block and be willing to pay them to show on your behalf. Pay for a showing. You know what? Time with your family is worth it. And if you made a commitment to your kids, the last thing I want my kids to say is, my mom was always on the phone. Yeah, at every event, she always missed the big play because she was on the phone. My daughter would see in a dance class and go, and look at me, and she's like pirouetting. I'm like, okay, I'm watching. So I'd leave my phone in the car if I could. So that was one of them. And I know I got caught out last weekend before family dinner for being on an appointment for responding to my seller's text. Yeah, people, it's really tough to, make it 100% of the time, honestly. But you do the best you can with what you have, and don't guilt yourself after. Just try to win the next day.
Yeah, I'll add to that. If you've got something really heated in negotiations that is urgent that you must deal with when you're home with the family, then just look at the family and say, may I have 5 minutes to go take care of this, and then I'll be back. I'm full on back with you, focused. I think that you just asking for permission. And then this is also, Jess has many children and I have one. When Mia was younger, and mommy needed to do work and she didn't quite understand that, I just showed her that when mommy helps families buy and sell houses, that equals a Disney World trip. It's like they have to see that you allowing to do what you love, helping families. It doesn't mean you're not still loving them, right? That we actually are doing it because we love them.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is, give your family permission to put you in your place. So my daughter, I don't know where she gets it. It must be your dad. But my daughter, I have one, and she is like, Mama, you're working too hard. Give me your phone. I'm like, you just turned 9. She's like, I said, give it to me now. It's time to go lay down and watch movies. You've been working too much. I said, okay, we're going to do it, because I gave them permission to do that.
Oh, I love it. That's great. Well, does anyone else have any questions? If you're here on Zoom with us, you can absolutely ask. And it's an open forum at this point. You got something else, Jess?
Catherine said self-accountability for what did I do well today? What can I do better tomorrow? I think that's always great questions to ask yourself too.
Yeah, I think that is great. Who is raising their hand?
Hey, Jenny, it's Aaron.
Oh, hi, Aaron.
Hey, so we talked about the appointments, meetings. That was a game changer in my life because, no offense, everybody's selfish. Everybody wants it. They do not care if you have to pick up your school. Your kid from school. They do not care if you have a date night with your wife because, by gosh, them finding a house is way more important than your spouse or your kids. But if you say you have an appointment or you have another client, you're not lying to them. It's an appointment. It's a meeting. They won't second guess you. I've literally had people, you tell them that you have an appointment already or you're going to meet with a client. They're like, oh, okay, well, we'll just do it later. If you tell them you're meeting with your kid or your spouse, they're like, well, can't you have date night tomorrow night? I need to find a house tonight. So by just calling everything a meeting or an appointment, it's a life changer. It's a game changer.
And the other thing is be careful on checking in on Facebook. So mirror what you match. Don't be that person that says, I'm unavailable, check in for date night here. And they're like, oh, I see, I wasn't important. Or post after the fact.
True.
Yeah. Well, I think that's key. I think showing up as a professional is actually what ends up happening. When you have a time blocked calendar, you follow what you've already stated was to be the most important thing that matters to you, it matters to your business, it matters to your family. And then you show up that way, you are going to have more time, you're going to have more joy and less stress. And that's really what it's all about.
The other thing is telling them too, when you have those conversations, hey guys, just so you know, you might see agents on the phone like crazy, right? And they seem super busy, but when they're with you, how do you think that probably makes their client feel? So I want you to understand that when I'm with you, you'll have 110% of my attention. If I get a text, unless it's from my husband saying emergency, I won't be answering texts and I won't be picking up phone calls. So just understand, if you can't get a hold of me, it's because I'm with another client at that time, but I'm going to afford you that same ability. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, it's setting expectations and over communication, like all things, right? If we just worked on those things, then everything would be fine. So, well, if nobody else has any additional questions, I am going to let you go because it's a time block class and we've gone over time. So we're naughty us. So if you guys need anything, again, I'm Jennie Wolek here in Tulsa and Jess Starr out of Connecticut. We're happy to help and just reach out to us and have a great day, guys. And we'll talk to you later.
Bye.